When you go shopping for golf balls, you're confronted by a lot of choices. But do you really know what the secret sauce is that makes each of these three boxes a little bit different? You will after today's conversation. It was just a few days ago I was having a conversation with a young golfer. I believe he's 13 years old. And he was asking me about the differences between various models of golf balls. Not brands, but the models within a brand, because he knew I was a Callaway guy. So there's really no better place to turn for that answer than to my friend Brian Minbiole from Callaway Golf, because there are some variances and variables within the different golf ball models under the Callaway umbrella. So let's dig into them a little bit. We hear the term Chromesoft.
Correct.
Start there. What does that mean?
Chromesoft is our flagship, our tour balls, and what really kind of vaulted us into a real strong position in the industry was this whole idea of Chromesoft and making a softer cored golf ball that we felt not only performed great for the masses, but when properly applied would have tremendous success on tour, which we've enjoyed. So it's that umbrella franchise that has built the models that are underneath that have given us the credibility in the industry, where the tour golf ball is definitely what gets the bulk of the press and the hype, and there's obviously lots of models below it. But the flagship here being Chromesoft is something that has really set us apart in what is a very competitive industry of golf ball.
So of the three current Chromesoft models, we've got the red box, the black box, and the silver box. Which one am I more likely to see played at the professional level?
In our case, it's definitely the black box. So the Chromesoft X, which in this category is the firmest of the three of our franchise. It is the ball that will spin the most off every shot. So if you look at what a tour player, their expectations are, is a ball that provides great distance, great workability. In our case, being firmer puts us a little closer to the platform of the ball that they probably played before, but still inherently leans towards what our franchise is as being softer. So what the X ball does is it gives players, so take a John Rahm or a Sam Burns, the ability to have tremendous ball speed because it's firmer in our category. But by being able to spin the most, they've got the greatest opportunity to flight shots, to curve shots around. And again, in my opinion, the opportunity coming from a competitor's golf ball, which obviously everybody came from a competitor's golf ball to ours, this gives us the greatest opportunity to have a similar feel, a similar sound, and then put all the special sauce that Callaway incorporates into Chromesoft to make our golf ball different.
Now, not every golfer is best suited for this ball, which is why you have the two other models.
Correct.
So how do you know? How do you learn which one's the best? Because if I see it on TV, my default thought is, that's the one I want to go and play.
Right.
But that's not always right.
And I think when I'm working with somebody on golf balls, if they're coming to me from a competitive product, which is inherently firmer, I will often start with the black box, just so all of a sudden there's not a massive change in sound and feel, and they're put off by it. Then you start to say, all right, what are the strengths of your game? Why do you play the ball you're currently playing? Oh, I like it because if it's harder, it goes farther. Can be and cannot be true. What are your weaknesses? Boy, I really struggle coming into greens, or my long game, I lose a lot of control. So in a lot of cases, if you're not able to fully compress a ball, you're not going to get its maximum performance. Our golf balls are inherently designed, regardless of your club head speed, to allow you a greater opportunity to compress it. The fact that my golf ball, especially in the other two models, spin less off the driver, they not only spin less this way, Bill, they spin less this way.
Right,
so there's a greater opportunity for control. So in those instances, you want the benefits of that ball that's played on tour. I can give you lots of those benefits and maybe shy away from some of the things that make a pure, firmer tour ball unmanageable to a slower swinging player or a less talented player who still wants to play a tour ball.
So in my world, in the year 2022, the ball I'm playing is the Chromesoft XLS, or the silver box. Why was this the best fit for me after we went through our fitting a few weeks ago?
The interesting part of what LS does is it is a lower spinning version of the black box. So being in that family, I know you make fun of your club head speed and all that, you make good contact with it. So having a slightly firmer format, which the X family does, gives you some additional speed at launch. What this did for you, as a guy who, when you start getting a little bit off on your driver, we want to make sure we tighten up that area of miss. This will spin significantly less off the driver than the black box. So in some cases, it'll give you greater distance. In a lot of cases, it'll give you tighter dispersion. So you've got the ability to take advantage of what the firmer platform brings, but when I reduce the long game spin, I gave you a lot of control. This is the ball that Xander utilized to win his gold medal. So if you look at what Xander does, he's one of the best iron players in golf, but he's not a big guy. He doesn't really shape an awful lot of shots off the tee. So by going to the LS, he was able to pick up some distance, increase some of his shot stability, but not lose anything into the short part of his game where he is clearly superior. So that was kind of the bump for him that really took him to the next level.
So then we have the red box, the traditional Chromesoft. They all say tour performance with soft feel. Is this where we're going for maybe a handicap that's double digits and up?
Sure. I think this is, I present Chromesoft as the tour ball for players who may not necessarily should be playing a tour ball, but long for it. I want something that feels soft, that spins into a green, that's easily compressible. The red box is, I think, the strongest point in our family line because it does things that other tour golf balls just can't. By being softer, it does not feel hard. You don't have to have excessive club head speed to take advantage of it. It spins tremendously in and around greens, but will spin the least in your long shots, which gives you the opportunity for slower speeds to keep the ball in the air and, again, to keep it where you can find it. So this whole idea of every golf ball that we have in this has got this precision technology. We 3D X-ray every single golf ball to make sure that it's perfect, because there's lots of layers to these things, and these layers are so small in their design that if any one part of that gets off, the performance of the golf ball can be compromised. So when you've got an ultra thin cover, and in this case a single boundary layer, and in the other case a couple boundary layers, you're looking at a golf ball that with all these parts has to get put together perfectly. And the only way to know that they're put together perfectly is either to cut it in half, or in our case, 3D X-ray it so I can see from every dimension that this golf ball is perfect. Otherwise, it doesn't leave the plant in Chicopee, Massachusetts.
Now, much of our ball purchasing decision criteria takes place off the tee, or maybe if we're really dedicated, we'll go to the 125-yard mark and make sure that we're hitting a ball that works well for us in the scoring zone. Of these three models, is there much difference when we're actually on the green and putting?
Most of it is acoustic.
Okay.
So I would tell you, as I do club fittings, and we do a lot with, the lob wedge or your highest lofted wedge, because we want to make sure, well, you're taking my spin away on the red, which is good for my driver, but I need to make sure I can hold a green. The variations in spin with your longest club is significant. Down to your shortest, your wedge, it's very, very small. So if you're looking at 60, 70, 80-yard shots, the difference in spin to the amateur level is actually relatively small. The biggest change comes acoustically. So based on your putter, whether you have an insert or a non-insert putter, people say, well, I don't care what it sounds like.
Yeah, you do.
That's a big part of feel is that acoustics. And the Chromesoft being the softest of the three is the quietest of the three. So in certain areas, you put that with an insert, some better players think it's actually too quiet. So they like the resonant click that you get from Chromesoft X. I think the average player can appreciate how soft it is, how good it feels on a less than consistent putting stroke, where they're less than they'd like in terms of hitting it in the middle. I think they would be surprised at the acoustic difference, but in terms of short game performance, I think from 75 yards in, virtually any player can use this. Our players choose the firmer golf balls for speed and spin, as they are looking for things in terms of that area of play that are far different than a lot of what the consumer's looking for.
So you and I are sitting in the putting lab at Carl's Golfland in Bloomfield Hills. I know some of you are watching this video from different parts of the country, and you're probably not likely to stop by the Bloomfield Hills location, which is perfectly fine. because our friends at Carl's are, of course, available to you online, as you've seen the ads on Golf Channel time and time again. But there is one version of a Callaway product exclusive to Carl's, and it's got pure Michigan's silhouette on it in a True Viz pattern that is sort of popular, to say the very least.
The TrueViz idea started out as something that we thought was a great opportunity to get our golf balls in use. So you've seen that soccer ball-like look, which we call TrueViz. And there is a technology behind it in terms of focusing on a specific part of the ball rather than the ball in general. But by utilizing, these pins all over the golf ball, there is an opportunity to really show a logo. So the corporate business is
Big time.
exceptional.
Yeah.
Instead of one logo on, it's on there 12 times. But in this case, as we all know the shape of our state, we all know and appreciate the Michigan mitten. This was an opportunity for, a great local-based company that's been Michigan-founded to really call out our state. And Carl's has done well in our partnership with this and calling out the state of Michigan on a Callaway product. And they've been remarkably popular.
So if you have any desire to have a kind of a pure Michigan look to your golf ball, you can only get these through Carl's, but you can get them online.
Correct.
So for those golfers who've relocated to some other horrible part of the country and you want to remember what it was like to be back in the great state, there's where you go. Thank you for the insight. And by the way, thank you to young Vaughn, the name of the golfer, that asked me the question that started this entire discussion. I love it when young golfers especially want to learn more about the technology involved in the game that we hope they play forever.
Absolutely. And what we used to figure was just a white sphere, and there was different models or different brands that we really didn't delve into the science of what makes them different. Everybody's tour ball is really, really exceptional. We tried to make ours in such a way that it was a tour ball that was achievable, utilizable, and something that everybody could play and be comfortable with. It is now the single biggest part of our business is golf balls.
Wow.
And we're aggressively moving towards the top spot, and you can only do that by having product that is really usable by a wide bunch of golfers. But we all know, per your earlier comment, what gets utilized on tour is often what inspires us to give something else a shot. And there's an awful lot of Callaway golf balls in play out there, and Callaway golf balls that are winning events.
Yeah, for sure. As always, thank you for the insight.
Thanks, buddy.